Hello, good morning, everybody. We are live from the birdhouse, and I have put on my fall background because it looks and feels like fall outside. But because of that, you might start to find that you are getting some different birds in your backyard. We are getting some reports of some that are migrating through, so I thought I would share those with you today. As always, you can say hi in the comments. We'd love to know what kind of things you're seeing. Or if you have any questions, you can throw those in there too. We do have some events going on at the store, as always, including our photo contest. And the last day to submit photos, it's already coming up. The last day is on Sunday. So your photo submissions are due by the 21st. So if you're mailing them in, you still have a little bit of time if you get them in the mail today. But otherwise, you want to make sure your photos are here by Sunday. And then we have our customer's choice voting, which starts on Monday. So you can come in and take a look at all the beautiful photos. There are so many. It's really, really fun to look. We have different categories. We've got the bird category, the wildlife, scenery. We even have a pets category. We have a youth category too for those 16 and under. So come on in and check out the awesome photos. Also, today is our last cruise. It's our last birding cruise on the Rivery. We've had a great season of cruising, and we're starting to get to the point where it's getting a little cool out there. Things are migrating out of the area. But that being said, we are in fall migration. So I'm looking forward to a really great cruise this afternoon. It is sold out. The Rivery cruises did all sell out, but don't worry if you missed it this year. We will be doing them again next year. So keep an eye out for that. We'll announce that early next year. We'll have those dates for you guys. I know some of you came in on Saturday to meet the pileated woodpecker, which was so much fun. We had the juvenile pileated woodpecker from Wild Wings here. She was a huge hit. It was busy the whole 2 hours that she was here. And Wild Wings sent us this photo after, which I thought you might enjoy. She was all tuckered out. She had such an exciting day. It was her first time out in the public, and she was really pecking away at the pieces of wood that they had in her enclosure. She was eating a lot of mealworms. So it was a really, really fun day. And look at her. She looks so tired after that event. But we also did a bird food drive where you can prepay, just like we do our 4+1 programs, where you buy 4 large bags of seed, you get 1 for free. And we sell suet in bulk too. You buy a case, you get 1 for free. And then a lot of people bank it or put it in their book or their bank in order to pick up later. So a lot of people prepay for their seed and then pick it up as they need it, which is a really popular program here. And we thought, well, why not offer that same thing to Wild Wings? If you want to provide anything for their songbirds, you can always buy it here, and we have a tally of what people have bought for them here at the store, and they've been picking it up. So if you want to participate in that, you can absolutely do it here in person at the store, or you can always call us and we'll take the order over the phone, or you can easily order it online. And then for the shipping information, you want to just put out in local delivery and put Wild Wings information in the recipient, and we'll take care of the rest. So some of you guys did that on Saturday too, which is a big help for Wild Wings. And you can always donate to them directly if you go to their website, which is Wild Wings Inc. So wildwingsinc.com. You can donate to them directly that way too, if you want to give them a cash donation. But just to let you know, that is an option if you want to provide some things like peanuts or mealworms. The woodpeckers and other songbirds go through an exorbitant amount of mealworms. So they really, really appreciated that. So thank you to everybody who came in and who donated and who just even came in to see the woodpecker. It was a lot of fun on Saturday. So we'll have more events like that coming up as well. I have been scouring my haiku box for things migrating through because it is migration season. And the haiku box, it's kind of like Merlin. If you've got the Merlin ID app, the Merlin app, when you activate it and you click on the button, it'll listen to the birds around you and tell you what they are. The Haiku box is different because you keep it plugged in all the time. And so it constantly listens to what's in your yard and it makes you a nice list of everything, tells you the last time it heard it. You can look through all your stats and see how many times that bird has been singing throughout your whole time of having the Haiku box. It's really, really cool. But I've been getting some reports of the ruby crown kinglet on my Haiku box. So those are starting to migrate through even into backyards. I usually see them hopping around in the little shrubs that I have, or they're sometimes on the plant stems or the heads of the plants that I haven't taken down. I let my garden go wild just for ease, and the birds will eat the seeds off of the plants. So I haven't seen the ruby crown kinglet yet in person, but it is making its rounds in my yard, and other people have been hearing them too. Hummingbirds, people are still getting also. They seem to be fizzling a little bit, but throughout the month of September, people will be reporting them. I haven't been getting as many of them in my backyard personally as I was about a month ago, but they're still there. I'm still seeing them sporadically. As far as orioles go, most people aren't getting the orioles, but we are having a few people who are still buying jelly, and they are still seeing some orioles. So they're probably the ones that are migrating through. But that being said, if you're still seeing those birds, absolutely keep the food out. Having food outside will not keep them from migrating. So you don't have to worry about that. They're totally fine. They know to migrate. It is just ingrained in them. So you don't have to worry about if you provide them with too much food, they'll stick around. They won't. They are going to do their thing no matter how long you keep your food out. So definitely if you've got hummingbirds, keep that food out for them because it's really important for them to get those calories as they're migrating. And this is their map. This is their range map. So the orange is their breeding range, which they are leaving now. The yellow is their migration, the places they pass through on migration, but they don't stick around for very long. And then that blue is where they will spend the winter. So for the most part, they're going down to Mexico and Central America and in the tip of Florida. Some of them can be found in the winter also. So they've got quite the journey. So having the food out for them will provide them with those calories that they need. So if you're starting to see some other birds hopping around in your trees and shrubs and bushes, this is what it could be. This is that ruby crown kinglet that I was talking about that's being picked up on my Haiku box. They kind of look like warblers as far as size and habits go, but they're not warblers. They are called kinglets, and they are going to be more common here in the spring or in the winter, fall and winter months than they are in the spring and summer months. We've got a couple different types. There's the ruby crown kinglet, which is this little guy right here. They don't always have that ruby crown flared like this bird has right now. So they can be a little bit nondescript and a little bit difficult to identify, but look for that broken eye ring. If you look around the eye, it's got quite a lot of white around it, but it's not a complete eye ring. That's a ruby crown kinglet. They've got a little bit of wash, a yellowish wash on their wings. And then there's the golden crown kinglet, which looks quite a bit different. You can see that golden crown. It's got some black that surrounds it, and it's also got quite a bit of black on its face and a black bill. So both of those are being reported in the area, the ruby crown more so than the golden crown. And then keep an eye on those blackbird flocks that you might be getting in your backyard. Getting reports, of course, of the grackles and the red-winged blackbirds starting to flock up more. They are gearing up to migrate further south for the winter. Most of them do go a little bit further south for the winter. Some of them will hang around here all year, but for the most part, they're going to be leaving, and they will form mixed flocks. So you might see things like the grackles hanging out with the red-winged blackbirds and the brown-headed cowbirds, but then also look for this bird. This is called a rusty blackbird, and this is the time of the year where they're seen again more commonly because they are also migrating. So keep an eye out for the rusty blackbirds. And at your feeders, you might start to see some diversity that you haven't seen recently. Of course, American goldfinch, they are very hungry. Their young are out there. They have fledged. They've left the nest. The males will start to molt, and they won't be this bright gold for much longer, but they are here all winter, so definitely keep that Niger or that finch favorite mix out for them. But also at your Niger feeders, keep an eye out for pine siskin. They'll start to become more common at bird feeders Now, this is a picture here of a mixed flock of mostly goldfinch in their non-breeding plumage. So this is what the goldfinches are going to look like soon. These birds that are sitting on the tray, as well as this bird here on the right, clinging onto the feeder, those are all goldfinches, just in their non-breeding plumage. So this is what they look like during that time, but you can see how they have that dark wing. They do have still some yellowish tinge on them. But then this bird here clinging on the left, that is a pine siskin, and they look similar to the goldfinches in size and shape, but the pine siskin will have more stripes on them, and they also have a sharper bill. So those are some ways you can identify pine siskin from the goldfinch, but they love the Niger seed. So keep an eye out at your Niger seed feeders for the pine siskin. And our winter visitor, the dark-eyed junco, will start to come into town. Haven't had a lot of reports of them yet, but this is the time where they start rolling in. So over the next week or so, I'm sure we'll start to hear more reports of the dark-eyed juncos coming in, and they'll be here all winter long. Really common backyard bird. So no matter where you are in the area, if you put out a bird feeder, the odds of you getting a dark-eyed junco are very, very good. Very cute bird, gray bird with a white belly, a pink little bill, and when they're in flight, they have these white stripes on their tail feathers, which are really obvious to see. So they will be coming back into the area. You might see at your sunflower seed feeders things like rose-breasted grosbeak migrating through. And they like the sunflower seed, they like safflower seed, they'll eat sunflower hearts. They won't be in their bright, bright breeding plumage, but this is a good example of what they could look like this time of the year in their non-breeding plumage as they go south for the winter. We're getting our first reports in of white-throated sparrows coming into backyards also. They will come to sunflower seed feeders quite often, but you usually, at least I tend to see them more on the ground, picking up the seeds that have been thrown on the ground. They'll eat the sunflower seed, they'll eat sunflower hearts, millet. So keep an eye out for the white-throated sparrow, and as we get on in the month, we'll start to get more reports of the white-crowned sparrow, which are larger, they're more gray, and they don't have that white patch on their throat like most of the white-throated sparrows do. So both of those, be on the lookout for, especially underneath your feeders. So look for them hopping around underneath your feeders. Also in the insect world, it's getting towards the end of monarch butterfly season. We do still have some monarch butterflies here at the shop that we've been raising that are in their chrysalis. And for the most part, they're still green, but then right before they hatch to come out, you'll start to see that the chrysalis turns clear and you can see the wings inside of the chrysalis right before the monarch hatches. So there's still monarch butterflies out in the world in our area, and they are migrating through. We are just getting towards the end of the peak monarch migration season for where I am in Western New York. That being said, they do have a long journey ahead of them. So depending on where you are in the country, you might not be at peak migration season yet. So they are flowing down into Mexico, where they will join millions and millions and millions of other monarch butterflies, where they will stay all winter long. So we are just ending the peak of the migration through our area, where the monarchs from up north, from up in Canada, are coming down. And so we've got kind of a larger mass moving through the area. But they are on the move. And like I said, there's still some that we have here that are in their chrysalis. So those will hatch out over the next week or 2 weeks even, and they'll still be fluttering around, making their way down south. So kind of just like the hummingbirds, don't be surprised if you see them through the rest of the month. Even sometimes in October, you can still see some monarch butterflies around. So you still have some more chances to catch a glimpse of the monarch butterflies. And then in the spring, they'll begin that migration up north, northward, and all along that migration north, those monarchs will start to lay their eggs, and the whole process begins again. Those monarchs that the caterpillars that hatch from those eggs will form that chrysalis, and out will hatch the monarch butterfly, and those butterflies will continue the migration northward. So really, really cool thing that happens with the monarch butterflies. So keep an eye out to the sky because you might still see some fluttering around. And you might also start to see lots of ducks. Now would be a good time to head over to your local wildlife refuge. We have one called Montezuma close to us, and it is getting into waterfowl migration time, and some things to be on the lookout for are we'll start to get our first reports of snow goose coming into the area. And if you see something that kind of looks like a Canada goose but a little off, now is also the time of year where brant are coming through. This is what a brant looks like. It kind of looks like the Canada goose, but it has a smaller head, smaller bill. So keep an eye out for them too, as well as a lot of other ducks. Things like redhead, ringneck duck, horned grebe are all flowing through the area, and we'll have some ducks that'll come here for the winter that'll stay all winter long that we don't have in the spring and summertime. So we're starting to get some of those fall and winter migrants that are coming in. So really exciting time of the year, and we will keep you posted with all of that bird activity as it comes. So looks like we've got a comment that just popped in from Steel Monkey, who says, "Hello, Liz. It's a beautiful time of the year. I'm decorating outside for the autumn and feeling good. I wasn't sure if the Niger seed was back in. We definitely have a lot of Niger seed. We get it in fresh every week. And you definitely want to keep it out in the fall and in the winter because the birds will eat it all winter long. And depending on what kind of winter we have, there are birds that are called eruptive species, a lot of eruptive finches that might come down to this area to feed a Niger seed that you won't get any other time of the year. A really good example of that would be the common redpolls. A few years ago, we had an eruptive year of common redpolls, and we had quite a few of them in the area that you could find eating from little pine cones and trees, and they also come to Niger seed feeders. So we'll keep you posted about that. We are going to have a broadcast about the winter finch forecast coming up. That'll be announced soon. So we'll give you guys kind of a better report about that as well. But I would definitely keep that Niger seed out. We have a ton of it. You can buy it on our website, or you can stop in if you are local and buy it. So that is everything I have prepared for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in. As always, you can send in your digital photos if you want to send in photos of the things you're seeing in your yard. And if you want to participate in our photo contest, which is totally free to enter, and you can win prizes in the form of gift certificates to the store, check out our website for all the rules. The website is thebirdhouseny.com. Check out our event list for the long spiel about the contest and all the different categories if you want to enter. It's a lot of fun. And until Saturday, we are logging off, but we will talk to you then, and have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.